is going to be.
All right.
Hey everybody, this is Nate, bringing you another video. This will be the number 5, and tonight I'm going to introduce you to my business partner, one of my business partners, Kevin Knapp, and Kevin is in Kansas City, and Jesse couldn't make it tonight. He's got something going on with his family, so just wanted to kind of let you guys know that we're kind of give you a kind of a introduction to what we're going to be doing with this podcast and YouTube channel. So with that, I'll let Kevin introduce himself. And then we'll go ahead and this will only be about 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, hello everybody. I'm, as Nate said, from Kansas City, even though I've got some kin up there in his neck of the woods. My primary focus has basically been on whole community redevelopment, large scale funding sources and things, in the billions of dollars, basically to try to produce micro and macro economic bubbles in areas that are underutilized. This can be done anywhere in the United States. It's duplicatable. And at the same time, while doing this, finding what people usually call community assets and being able to help them anchor different positions in different places. I've had a relationship with the Kansas City Fed here since 2010, and we sort of helped develop the whole community development concept, along with the Fed itself has got their own community engagement arm now, and all 12 branches out of this effort. So it's actually it's producing results here. So I've become a quasi expert by proxy, so you will. I don't have any college degrees or any of this kind of stuff to back any of this with, but these days I don't think a whole lot of people do. There are people out there, Jim Rickards being one of them, Danielle Camboni over there at Stansberry Research, Daryl Moore, who's kind of in the crypto field here on YouTube. These kind of people here, they've got a track record, and if you tap into some of those people, you kind of get an overall view of what's going on, what's been going on, what's to come. And that's pretty much where we are with this. We are cutting edge. We've got some concepts that we felt several years ago would come into play in this next decade. Well, now we're at that next decade, and the conditions are now becoming ripe for what we're doing. We're more or less into dealing with nothing but tangible assets, the best of the tangible assets as a starting point. And from there, we'll be able to do things like high tech, pre-pharma, space. Well, space, that's crazy, isn't it? No. We're going to be on the moon in a couple of years. We'll be on Mars in 5 to 10. And that's not a joke. That's the way it really is. And commercially speaking, the proof is in the pudding. Musk has proved his point. And when you talk about space investment, we're talking about sponsoring space launches for satellites and other ventures that might come in there. We're talking about putting a hotel up there, a commercial hotel up there, in about 5 to 7 years. Go figure. So there's going to have to be some way of economically being able to keep these guys afloat, because the government's no longer be able to do it. That's where we step in. Folks like us step in. We're hoping that we can get a community of people together that are seeing the same thing, putting like minds together, and be able to move as a group, as a whole, to be able to support this. Allow the folks in the financial industry to catch their breath, so to speak. The Bitcoin people, yeah, I think they've got a good point at this point. This is pretty much the way things are going to be done. It's just a matter of everybody getting on the same page. But we'll be in a position of where we can move on that. We have an element called Osmium. It's the last of the precious metals in our stable. I happen to have the largest network of certified Osmium partners in the Western Hemisphere, basically dealing with crystallized osmium. It's running around $17.50 a gram, not an ounce. When they started marketing it back in 2017, it was worth around 800 a gram. They've only sold about 30 kilograms of it up to this point. And the real kicker is there's only 1 cubic meter of it available on this planet. That's all there ever will be available on this planet. There's 24,000 cubic meters of gold. Forget about the money part, just compare the gold versus the osmium. 1 cubic meter, 24,000 cubic meters. You kind of get the idea. The point about Bitcoin is there's a finite amount, and that's what drives it. Well, this is real. It's fully digitized. You can almost call it NFTs because they take 3-dimensional photographs of it. It's crystallized. No crystal is ever the same. It's physics. And it's forge proof. It has its own natural booby trap. Using these kind of resources, we can back just about anything that comes along. So we're looking to get with folks that are interested in doing things like these or supporting these kind of things and giving them a place to be able to move or merge into the next system. We are definitely at a precipice in human development, economically speaking. The old systems, the fiat systems, are going to go away. They basically outlasted their usefulness, and now we're all getting into the digital age in currency and economics. Instead of talking trillions, we'll be talking quadrillions very, very quickly. So we're looking forward to being able to interact with any of you that want to come along for the ride. We're going to have a number of experts in different industries that we have already been in touch with, that have already merged with us. Some of them are partners with us in the Osmium movement, and they'll be able to further teach you things that they're into. One of them I'm kind of excited about is Benson Juarez, or he's Privy. It's a software package. Well, everybody's got a software package, but in real estate, I'm telling you what, this is the key. This one here is a home run every time you use it. And it's extremely affordable, and it changes with the times. It stays up to date. You can't lose with it. We're looking forward to bringing him in on this thing. And we have a numismatist. It took me a long time to figure out how to pronounce that, but some of the rarest coins on the planet he's dealt with. He's he's in Colorado Springs. He's also one of our folks in Osmium. And then we're going to have folks in real estate. We've got people that are in the multifamily realm. When we talk about that, we're basically talking apartment complexes. We've got several people that are doing the assisted living thing, which is a big thing at this point. It's going to be for the next decade. These are up and comers. And then again, getting into what's really going on economically speaking, how to maneuver unmaneuverable territory, that is places that we've never been before. It's only going to happen one time. This is it. So if we have more people involved that know what they're doing and have a pretty good head on their shoulders, we're going to all be better off for it, because we'll all be able to move as a group and have better chances for success navigating these very uncharted waters.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, guys, and of course, to get all this information and all of our experts and our people that are experienced, and all you got to do is like, share, and subscribe. We also have, like I've said in the other videos, we have our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/the OPM show. And also we have a private group. Now we're going to make it private because we don't want just everybody to come in there. We don't want it to get hijacked like the 3 groups that I'm currently in with 38,000, 29,000, and 7,000 that have basically turned into spam sites, scam sites, and porn sites. It's pretty bad to go into a group of 38,000 people who want to do real estate, and you have porn being posted and Facebook not doing anything about it. So we're going to have a private group, guys, and we're going to talk to you about how to differentiate between a hard money lender and a private money lender, because they're actually kind of the same. There's a lot of arguments out there about it. So we're going to teach you basically from the ground up how to structure your business with your LLC, your domain, and incorporate, use Wyoming, Nevada, Delaware, or even your home state. But we like Wyoming. Our LLCs are in Wyoming, and we're going to teach you how to basically, take your ground floor, use Privy if you're doing single family flips or rentals. Benson's not quite in the multifamily space yet, or self-storage, or assisted living, but he'll eventually get there. He's currently adding almost as many as MLSs nationally as he can. It's just a matter of when, not if. And he will, when you meet with Benson, he's going to work with you and help you build like a territory areas he's going to show you some places. Like, I didn't know, and Kevin can attest to this, when he did the first presentation to us, he showed us an area near Chicago, kind of more affluent communities outside of Chicago, where you were able to find properties for 35% of ARV, which is, you're like flipping the coin, guys. Because like we'll tell you, most of the lenders we deal with, like they want you to have to be all in at 65% of ARV. That's what they'll loan you the max up. They'll only go up to 65% of ARV unless you're in like one of their programs where they might go to 70. So if you can go under 35 or under 50, guys, you take all the risk out for the lender.
Yeah,
Yep.
the cash outs usually stop at 50, and that's where they top out at. And if that's not enough, this is a year or two ago. Well, I was just on with him a week ago. There's still 30, 35%. In some cases, there were 20
Yep.
today.
And guys, these are on market, off market. You get the contact information. He can actually give you a buyer's list. I'm sure we'll be able to get a special promotion for you, for anybody that's likes and shares and subscribes to our podcast and YouTube, as well as our Facebook group. So when we do, Benson's going to come on probably the next week or two and do a full presentation, which then you guys will be able to view. Once you guys do it, just line up and sign up if you're doing single family flips. We've got some experts as well as in multifamily who can teach you how to find the deals, how to do analysis on the deals, and then also self-storage, residential assisted living, short-term rentals. A lot of stuff's going on right now in the short-term rental space because of, well, since the COVID started, a lot of people like in Denver decided to move to Summit County. Well, now Summit County, Aspen, Steamboat, Vale, they're all restricting people. They don't, they say because it's making it unaffordable for workers to be up there. But STRs are still a very good way. There's one site that's like short-term rentals, long-term wealth. You can make a lot of money doing short-term rentals. So we're going to have some expertise on there. We're not the gurus. We're not the coaches and the mentors. We're looking at us as hosts and guides. We've gathered a lot of information. We verify it. We're not going to have anybody on here who isn't legitimately doing something that we can verify that we're actually working with in other capacities, whether it's real estate, osmium, strategic metals, things like that. We have a couple contacts in the hemp and cannabis industry, which has a lot of opportunity. As soon as the banking is good nationwide and legal, it's going to blow up, and we want to prepare people in that space to be able to know how to go out and borrow money from lenders or find investors. You can start working on like a Regulation D, do all your PPMs, all that stuff to go out there and raise capital. So we're looking at the people that want to be on the show are people that want to learn about how lenders actually work, how to prepare your business for a lender. If you want to raise capital, how do you reach out to family offices, hedge funds, private equity firms? And then we're going to do some entertainment stuff. We're going to do some deep dives on some success stories, like Kevin and I had our student. We were talking about Robert, and Robert Newburn's going to be on in a couple weeks. He did our class 2 years ago, and he and his partners have built a $70 million real estate portfolio since then. They also are in the lending space as well. He actually participated in we did a course for private money brokers. We trained about 25 of them in that class, and a lot of them had success as private money lenders. I have a database of 250 lenders vetted and verified. You're going to get that free. You just have to join the Facebook group. It's in the files section. You can go in there right now and download it. And you have 250 verified and vetted lenders that, as of May 1st, are all still in business. And you have their contact information, the name of their company, their websites, their email. You have their states they lend in, their states they don't lend in, and what they're willing to lend on, and what their terms are, right there in the database. So you can actually just contact them yourselves, and so you'll have that. We're also going to do some book reviews. Like I said, this weekend I'm going to do 3. I'm going to do Lucifer's Banker about Swiss banking, and I'm going to do The Big Short, which is obviously the movie about the 2008 mortgage crisis, and also going to do Dope Sick about Purdue Pharma. The next couple of weeks I'll be doing stuff on Bernie Madoff, as well as Enron, WorldCom, and also, if you guys know about Theranos, obviously Elizabeth Holmes is about to be sentenced in September for that. So we're going to kind of go into how some of those things play out, because almost all those situations had other people's money. Enron had $60 billion of other people's money. So did Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff had 65 million. He lost 65 billion of other people's money. So we're going to go into those and kind of go the anatomy of what happens in, are some of them do they start out as a scam, or do they just become one because of some problems?
Here's the real kicker to this whole thing. There's one theme behind all of this. independent verification of the facts. Nobody bothered to independently verify any of the facts these people were presenting. They just gave them their money and said, go do something with it. We don't do that.
Yeah.
Take it like a journalist. A real journalist back in the day had 3 independently verifiable sources before they even thought about printing a story. Approach investing the same way. We dare everybody to do that with everything that we get involved in. You need to do the same thing.
I mean, one of the interesting things is WorldCom had a scam within a scam. There was a high-level executive who was scamming the company while their CEO was doing some, and founder was doing some crooked things that sent both of them to jail, but for completely different scams within this scam. And you guys remember WorldCom was MCI, the phone company that was doing phone cards. Enron, I was a shareholder of Enron, and I sold out when it was still $60 a share because I had some other things I needed to do. And 3 months later, it was down to like $5 a share, and then it went completely to zero. So we're going to talk about those and what some of these cases are noble corruption, meaning like Elizabeth Holmes was trying to do a great thing for humanity, trying to be able to solve some issues and how you could help people with their health with blood testing. And she had all, probably the good intentions, whether, she had a lot of good people, hired some great scientists, but she should have turned over the company. We're going to go into that. But for the most part, guys, we're going to help you guys if you want to not have to pay $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, or in case of one of our friends, $50,000 for education, and you don't have any money left to flip to do your down payments or do your closing costs or even run your company. So you're not going to have to pay seminar promoters. There are some good ones. Kevin and I are both students of the Lee Arnold's program. So we've actually taken some of the same programs. So we definitely are a big fan of Lee Arnold and Kogo Capital. But we're going to talk about, we're not going to really name names unless somebody's actually under, criminal, something, because then they can't really, it's for legalese. But we want to talk about how you can find a verified, vetted lender who's actually going to work with you. We want you to prepare your business, you guys. There isn't 100% financing out there unless you've got everything going for you. You've got a long relationship. You're not going to get 100% financing until at least you've done at least 5 deals. And like I said, a deal isn't a deal. It's an opportunity until it becomes a deal. Once you find your funding, there's a lot of paperwork. We're going to provide all the templates, all the forms, everything on our Facebook group. You can just download them. They're white label. You can add your logo, your name, everything to the forms and use them for your own. And we're going to show you how to do that, build your business. If you wanted us to broker the money for you, we have a client agreement. It's non-exclusive, and we basically get paid by the lender anywhere from 1 to 3 points. We don't get paid for you. We don't ask for a penny up front. We do all the work for you. So, and we can also teach you how to do it your own. Now, there will be some opportunities later on that we do have some programs some advanced programs, but we're not going to do those right away. And we've got some other things like Kevin was talking about earlier. We're in the process of retaining an investment bank to actually raise money for our company, Private Money Holdings, to do real estate, Osmium, and also some mining and energy interests. So that's one of the things we're going to be doing. You'll hear a lot more about it. And then, like I said, I'm going to try to have at least 1 or 2 videos a day. Some of them will be just instructional topics, and then some of them will be when I start doing these books and I start doing the movie things, because I just want to talk about, like, Dope Sick it's still on Hulu. The Dropout is still on Hulu, so you can watch that. I got a great hack for Hulu. Just get an email address and sign up for the free trial, and you can get both series in under the 2 weeks of the free trial. Don't tell Hulu I told you that. Things like that. So they're both still on Hulu, and you can watch both those series. I think one is 8. They're both about 8 episodes. Dope Sick stars Michael Keaton. He does a phenomenal job as one of the doctors who was busted for opioids, and he got addicted. It's his character in the movie is just a kind of a combination of real people, but it's a great series, and it's still going on now. The Sackler family, last I heard, they're supposed to be paying $4.5 billion, but it looks like they're going to have to pay about $6 billion if they want to get immunity. So that's going through bankruptcy right now, procedures, instead of like a criminal case. So we're going to talk about that because that's a current thing. Obviously Theranos is current because of the trial of Sonny Balwani, and then Elizabeth Holmes' sentencing in September. And we're going to talk about some other things. Obviously um, the housing crisis in 2008, and Kevin can talk about his. He'll some night he'll talk about his relationship with the Federal Reserve, and some things he participated on about that, the housing crisis. And this is it's still relevant because of Dodd Frank changed a lot of things how private money brokers are, and how the private money industry is. And because we're not dealing with mortgages, we're dealing with real estate investors. A lot's going on right now. Housing becoming unaffordable in a lot of areas, people having to go to rent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna
The other thing is the Fed has recently stated they're going to stop buying, mortgage-backed securities. Basically, what's been happening up to this point is Freddie and Fannie have basically been glorified paper pushers. They take the application and shove it to the Fed, and they go, "We'll buy it." They're not supposed to be doing that anyway, but they've been doing it to the several $1 trillion. So if you've been looking to buy mortgages and stuff like that and haven't been out there, that's the reason why. So that's going to start coming back into play again. Plus, they're still trying to figure out how this is going to work out because they're basically trying to let them mature and let them drop off, and that's just not going to work out with these mortgages because a lot of them are 30-year mortgages and they can't hold notes like that. So we're thinking eventually they're going to end up having to sell some of these on the open market. So there'll be some opportunities coming up with that, which are actually going to be better than treasuries. That seems a little odd, but they actually are, for lack of a better way, tangible asset backed, where treasuries are just more fiat. So this is another thing that we're going to kind of keep an eye on here in the near future to figure out how to play that out, because I think it's a massive opportunity to come down the road, probably with the next 12 to 18 months. So we need to get everybody ready that's interested or has ever done that before and like to get back into it again, because it's going to be a lot coming down the pike. Won't be a lot of participants because there won't be a lot of people with money when it gets to that point either. I'm sure there's a lot of people talking about that, but again, we'll give you a list of different people that you can check out, not just us, but the people on YouTube that have a lot more time and grade, so to speak. Uh, and if you get with them, look at us again, independently verify the facts before you move on anything. But we've got a pretty good track record ourselves in the last 2.5, 3 years. We've actually been able to stay ahead of this game. I can't think of anybody that's been able to do that up to this point, and a lot of it has to do with that little relationship with the Fed that I've sort of had their playbook. That's kind of odd how that came about. We'll talk about that on another story.
Yep, guys. So I definitely want to appreciate you guys checking this out tonight. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe. The links to the Facebook page and group are in the description for the channel. And the more, obviously, we're going to try to do stuff every day and build this. We're also going to get better technology-wise. We're going to break out the new Chromebook this weekend, which has a much better webcam. I won't be needing the microphone anymore. Things like that. So we'll get a little bit better technology. And then I'm going to get a cool webcam in June that has a ring light and it's got 4K, which means it'll be unbelievable. So we're going to keep getting better. So hopefully, like I said, if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments. I've also left my email. And then, of course, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/the OPM show. And there's the group as well, so you can always contact us directly on there. And then we're accessible. We usually get back to you pretty quick. So with that note, Kevin, I'm going to sign off and upload this. So
We'll see you next time, folks. Have a good one.